Welcome back to the Flow Friday Sports Show. It is time for us to look at netball across South Australia, and we're starting off with the Western Eyre Netball Association. And as she does each Friday, Courtney Trowbridge is joining me to give us a look at the association. How are you, Courtney? Good to speak to you again.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Dan. How are you?
Going very well, thank you. Now, we'll cast our minds all the way back to the 1st of June for the Round 7 games in just a moment. But before we do, Western Eyre were very well represented in the country champs, fared very well for one of the smaller associations compared to some of the others that are a little bit closer to Adelaide. I'd love to get your wrap of how everything went for the Western Eyre girls, Courtney.
Yeah, some really good results across the weekend. It's obviously a long way for all of us to travel over there. We sent an A grade 17s, 15s and 13s. Our 17s had, I think it was 1 or 2 wins. It's really good for them. Our 15s, they got through to the semi-final of Pool C, which is awesome as well. And then we had a young under 13s only lose one match in the pool rounds against a team who they ended up playing in the grand final of Pool C, and they went down in overtime. So, a really exciting weekend for those girls, and they done really well. I think our best result was our A grade, our senior team. So how the seniors works is they play in 2 separate pools over the weekend, and then to make finals, they split the top 2 into A grade and the next 2 into B grade. Last year, these girls actually played in the B grade grand final and come runner-up. And this year, they made it through to the A grade grand final. They were able to defeat KMT in the semi-final, which is a massive achievement, and then go on to the grand final where they went down by a few to Barossa, Light and Gawler. But I thought they done really well. I was able to watch a few of their games on live stream. I thought Alana Cotton and Taylor Collins in defence teamed up really well and just tried their hearts out all weekend. Chloe Etridge through centre just really steadied and, created lots of play for the team. And then Maddie Nicholson in goal shooter, she actually ended up making the top 10 of the country champs, which is a massive achievement, and she also made the top 10 at lock. So she's on a roll, and congratulations to Maddie and all the girls that participated, and a big thank you to everyone that helped, all the coaches, manageresses, umpires that helped make these things happen. Big weekend, and well done, girls.
Well done indeed. Some brilliant efforts there from Western Eyre, especially going up and holding their own and being able to beat some of the far bigger associations with many more players to choose from. So a brilliant effort there indeed. And we'll cast our minds back to the previous weekend now, Courtney. Round 7, it was 2 blowouts in Western Eyre Netball, but we probably weren't expecting 2 blowouts of this nature, and the scores in each game were almost identical. Let's start with the Hawks and their takedown of Thevenard. It was 57-33 in this one, so very convincing here from the Hawks.
Yeah, it was convincing. I think Sevi actually started the game quite well. I think the score was only 2 different at quarter time. Hawks made a couple of changes. They put Rochelle Wheaton into wing defence. And their defence was really rock solid. They had Tess Matthews in goalkeeper, Alana Cotton goal defence, and Rochelle Wheaton in wing defence. And it was really hard for Sevi to penetrate and capitalise on any turnovers that the defence were getting. And down the other end, the Hawks bowlies, have played together for a long time, and they looked really good. Maddie Nicholson, again, I feel like I say her name a lot, in goal shooter. She was their best, had a great game. And for Sevi, they had Hayley Williams-Gates and Hayley Jericho, their defenders, who played quite well, but just not able to capitalise on the turnovers, and big margin for the Hawks.
Very good win there for the Hawks. Like I said, almost identical scores in the 2 games. 57-33 in that one. The other game, 58-33. Western United Tigers taking down Wirralur by a much bigger margin than we might have expected.
Yeah, it was a big margin. I think I'm probably not too surprised by it. Wirralur were missing Hayley Webb out of their defensive line, and we know she just turns over so many balls and creates so much for their team. And then they also had Montana Freeman out, who would be their main centre now that Jazz Billing has announced her pregnancy. So a little bit short through the court. They did have Sarah Evans and Hayley Trezona come up from the B grade. I hear they play quite well, but we know Westies, they're settled in their 7. They've got the three defences where they can make some changes. Lots of versatility, even though they've only got the 7 players. I think they are just, on a roll. So best players for Wirrallah were Bella Heron in at goalkeeper, and then for Western United was Durrani Hofrichter.
All right, so a couple of big wins there in round 7. We'll see if the margins are a little bit closer tomorrow. The Ceduna Blues are back in action after, a couple of weeks off now due to the bye and then country champs. So they will be very well rested when they host the Hawks tomorrow. Yeah,
coming up against the Hawks, I'm not sure how they will line up. Haven't actually spoken to Hayley, their coach, this week. I know when they come up against the Hawks, they are missing Alana Cotton, and I say her name a lot as well. She is sort of their pillar in defence, and I think they will miss her. They're moving Rochelle Wheaton into goal defence, so she'll match up against Holly Woods in goal attack, and then they'll have Tess Matthews on Casey Grenfell. Down the other end of the court, Maddie Nicholson in goal shooter, that will be a big task, but she will hopefully be up against Taylor Collins, who they both had great country champs, so I think that will be some really exciting matchups. Even missing Alana, I think Hawks should still get the win, but it will be much closer than their last encounter, which I think was around 35 goals.
All right, and our other game is going to be Thevenard hosting Wirrallah, so the two teams who have probably regressed the most since last season, and they'll both be eyeing off a big win here with third spot on the ladder up for grabs between these two.
Yeah, I think this will actually be a lot closer than last time they played. I know last time they played, Sevi were missing a couple. They were able to stay with them for sort of the first half of the match, and then Wirrallah just broke the game open in the second half. I think tomorrow it will depend a lot on whether Wirrallah have Hayley Webb. I think they will miss her if they don't have her. It will also be interesting to see how Sevi line up. They've got their full team, so whether they choose to play Elia O'Brien in goal attack or whether they put Nikki Sleep in there. If Nikki's not in goals, I imagine she'll line up down the other end of the court against Emma Willis. So, I think it will be really interesting. Emma played goal attack last match against Westies, and she played there a lot at country champs, so it'll be interesting to see whether they move her back to her familiar goal shooter role, whether they keep her out at goal attack, which will be something different for Sevi to think about. I think it will be a lot closer. I'm going to tip Sevi in a close one.
All right, the tip is in for Thevi, who desperately need a win. They've only had one win this year against the bottom of the ladder Ceduna Blues, so it will be very good if they can get a win for their chances of maybe sneaking up and overtaking Wirrallah on the ladder. Courtney, thank you for that. Always good to have you on the Flow Friday Sports Show. Enjoy the action this weekend, and good luck to everyone playing in Western Eyre Netball this weekend too. We'll speak to you next Friday, Courtney.
Thanks, Dan. You too.